Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
There it is.
How you doing, buddy?
That's the stuff. How we living, man?
We're living good, man. We're living good. We're just hanging in there like David Carradine.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know. What have you been up to? Anything?
Well, we're a couple weeks into Sober October.
Yes, we are, yeah. You ready to go out for a beer or what?
My mouth waters a little bit whenever I'm around people. That's the only...
My mouth
The only time I've had a problem with it is when I'm around other human beings.
No, actually,
It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show.
I'll be honest. This is year 3 for me.
Yeah, this is my second.
And I've been fine with it. Haven't had any cravings at all. It's really the easiest year. It's been good. I've been doing stuff though, walking and running.
Staying busy, staying active.
Yeah, writing songs. Yeah,
good, man.
been
That's
doing
good
stuff,
to hear.
man. Doing stuff.
This was certainly easier for me to slide into than it was the first time.
Yeah.
The work that we both do is kind of steers you into partying a little more frequently than most.
Yes, we
And,
do.
So
We do reside in that depraved world.
that first year, that first few days was a little bit intense, but nothing we couldn't get through. This time was definitely easier to kind of transition.
Yeah, feel good, feel better.
I do. I've also been trying to be a little bit more physically active, and it's nice if for no other reason than to just kind of reset. Remind yourself that you're the boss, and just kind of flush out the toxins, get yourself in a clear space to move into the winter, and hopefully just keep knocking goals out. As tough as that is, in this particular year.
Yeah.
Well, because there are less things to go do. It's harder to just say, oh, it's not only do I want to achieve this goal, like just getting together for the podcast here is difficult because we're both up against challenges, and you got to work what little opportunities you have, a chance to go out and do a gig. You got to go do it. And it's been the case, on your side of things, I think.
Yeah.
And so it's on top of just motivating yourself to do anything, you've also got, limitations on what you can go out and just do. So, yeah, but it is nice. It's like, reestablishing kind of control of things and kind of internalizing a little bit more than like you're used to just kind of being out.
It's like a little reset.
Yeah,
Hitting the old reset button.
I dig it. And you've had some events happen in the last few weeks since we last talked.
I got engaged.
Congratulations.
I did the thing. I did the thing. Thank you.
Woohoo.
So,
tell us about the lovely lady.
Well, my fiance hates when I talk about her on the podcast, so I'm going to respect her wishes and talk about her at length.
Okay, awesome. That's what I was hoping to hear.
No, she's awesome.
Do we need to give her a nickname for anonymity, or?
No. Her name is Dana. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Dana.
Congratulations. Dana. Did you say Dina? It's Dana.
Congratulations, Dana.
Yes, congratulations on this friggin' prize.
You really hit a home run this time.
Yeah. No, she's awesome. It was, I told you before, it's one of those things, I met her 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of one of those moments where it was like, oh, okay, my life makes sense now.
This all fits.
This is,
That's a good feeling.
I looked in her eyes. I was like, yep, those are the eyes I want to look at for the rest of my life.
That is some sappy shit. And
yes,
I
totally.
think we're going to move on.
All right, we're moving on. How about...
No, I am happy for you, and congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much.
So that's a pretty major life event. Now,
Yes.
You were explaining to me that was juxtaposed by juxtasupposed,
Juxtaposed.
juxtasupposed,
Juxtaposed.
juxtaposed.
Vocab 101. Actually, no, that's actually a pretty big one. So it got an X in it. That's an 8-letter Scrabble word right there.
Your good news was juxtapositionized.
Yeah,
You
it
also
was-
had some bad news.
Yes, also had some bad news. Yes, the infamous Joey Prate, great friend of mine, brother. Really, growing up, you have your group of friends. I'm sure you had your group of friends.
Sure.
I had my group of friends. We were all grew up in the town of Summerdale, the Dale boys. But he was like the Beavis to my Butthead, or maybe I was Beavis. I'm not quite sure. But all I know is we got into some shit growing up, and I don't want to get all sad because I don't think I ever saw that dude not laughing or smiling ever. So it wouldn't be a fitting tribute for me to cry. Or be upset. I've done enough of that. I've definitely done enough crying, and it's just not a good tribute to the guy who he was, or what I know for a fact he wouldn't want me to do. What he would want me to do would be to tell you some of his amazing stories.
Let's celebrate the life of Joe.
Oh, of course. That's. I mean, listen. That's
Well,
what you gotta do.
we're all very sorry to hear about your loss. It's tough to lose
Yes.
anybody, especially a tight friend, someone you've known your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, he was a big piece to a puzzle that was our group of friends, and sadly we've lost quite a few of us
Yeah.
over the past couple of years. I think a total of 5 over the past 3 years. That but anyway, we'll travel down that road some other time.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So do you want me to tell the story now, or do you want to?
I want to hear about it.
All right, I'm going to tell you.
Tell us the fond memory.
I'm going to tell you one memory here that now this is one of many, 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 many great stories.
Mm-hmm.
But picture it. Okay. It's we'll say circa 1994.
The
Yes.
year was 1994.
1994. I was
The
a
Smashing Pumpkins had just made a lasting impressions on the Billboard Top 40.
Yes, I was a junior in high school. My friend Joey was a sophomore or a freshman because I'm not sure, but he was a sophomore. I was
Because
a
one
junior.
of you repeated kindergarten. Is that what happened? No, I'm making that up. I'm sorry. I'll let you tell the story.
I don't know, but I don't. I think he might have been a year younger than me.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
he was. Anyway, so as per usual, we got freaking hella high before school every day
All right.
because that's a really good way to learn education and learn words like juxtaposed.
Juxtasupposed.
Try to say that when you're stoned out of your mind and
I just did.
junior year. Oh, wait a minute. I thought you were doing Sober October.
I am.
Oh, that doesn't count?
No.
Oh, I go
No, cannabis is medicine.
I go all in, man. I go all in.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well,
I told you
understand.
about the. I only have problems when I run into other humans. There has to be something there. There's some kind of buffer.
All
But
right. Yeah,
anyway.
I get you. All right. Well, as per usual, we got stoned on any given day going to school, and that day I didn't realize, but we had an assembly. Remember assemblies?
Oh,
Get
yeah.
together, and it's assembly day. We're gonna have an assembly today.
Get to miss a class or two.
Yeah. But this was like a different kind of assembly. Now I'm gonna you might have had this person in your school too, because we went to school around the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and most of these assembly people, they did their rounds. Do you remember Big Al?
Big Al?
Big Al. He was a basketball player for the Washington Washington Generals, who was
Against the Harlem Globetrotters?
Yes.
You know what? I did not. I don't remember him coming to any of the schools I was attending. Most of mine were Catholic schools.
Right.
But I've heard this guy mentioned.
Okay.
So he's like he does the motivational speaking in some way.
Yeah.
Right?
I believe he doesn't do it anymore because of things. But
Okay.
I'm not positive on that, so I don't want to slander anybody.
Okay.
But I heard some things. So anyway, his whole shtick was hugs, not drugs. He would come to the school, and I remember.
Boy.
I remember I'm sitting there, and
I could see where this would be
And I am
problematic
sitting
in
next-
a number of
I-
ways, but go ahead.
I'm sitting next to Joey, and like I remember Big Al like doing his spiel, and I remember him saying something that I think me and my buddy and a couple of my buddies repeated forever, which was, I didn't fall asleep, I passed out. I didn't wake up, I came to. We thought that was hilarious. Like, yeah, I came to this morning. You know, we were assholes. I don't know what to tell you. We were assholes. We really were. I don't know how we learned anything. Well, I don't know how I learned anything. I don't think they did. But anyway, no. Love you guys. So, and then in like the middle of his thing, what he would do was he would tell all the teachers to leave, all teachers and faculty. Leave because I want to talk to the students and I want them to feel free to speak with me about their problems. So we would invite kids to go up
And hug him.
on
And
stage.
he would hug them?
And then you get
Oh,
a little
man.
hug, get a little yeah.
So he can't be still doing this today.
No,
because
that's not okay now. You can't just
in
go around.
today's climate,
In today's
I don't
climate,
think that would be considered
no, you can't just hug kids.
acceptable.
No, you cannot just hug children.
So tell me your friend.
You
did
cannot.
Your friend
First of all, you cannot kick out the teachers and
remove-
faculty. All right,
remove
everybody,
the only adult witnesses.
everybody get out so I can hug these kids. No, that's not okay anymore.
Oh man.
Anyway, so I'm sitting there and he's like, all right, now if anybody has any stories that they want to tell them, maybe about your parents or even your own, experiences with drug use and you want to come up and talk and tell your story,
It's a safe space, he says.
It's a
right?
safe space.
Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah,
you.
yeah.
No consequences.
So I'm blazed
Speak
out of
freely.
my mind. My buddy Joey's blood. We're just laughing the whole laughing, and he's nudging me. He's like, "Fish, fish, fish! You gotta go up. You gotta go up, dude.
Oh, you went up.
So I'm like,
okay.
all right, dude. I'm gonna raise my hand. Ready? Yeah, dude, go. He would always coax me into doing doing this shit. So I raised my hand.
He was that friend.
Oh, he was that friend. Yes. But he was that friend to a lot of different people. It
Sure.
wasn't just mine. He was that friend to a lot of people. And
The instigator.
Dude, go. So I raised my hand. He's like, oh, and first one up.
Nice.
First one up. He's like, oh, you, sir, there in the T-shirt, is it? Come up. And I go up, I walk up, and everybody's laughing because I'm pretty well known in the school as the fuck up that I am.
I'm sure a lot of people knew that this had comedy potential written all over
This
it.
was not going to be a serious thing at all. So I went up and I was like, oh, hello, Big Al.
Big fan. I hope you get that first win soon.
Big Al, I recently quit smoking marijuana. And I said it like that. Yes, I did.
Oh boy.
I recently quit smoking the marijuana.
And how long ago? Did he ask you how long ago?
I offered the information without him asking.
Okay.
All right. So I said, I recently quit smoking marijuana about an hour ago.
Nice.
But I'm thinking about making a comeback after school, I said. And everybody's laughing and falling off their chair. And then my conscience hits me, and I'm like, oh, dude, this guy, this guy's being serious.
And you're playing him yeah.
So then I'm like, no. In all seriousness, I realize that there's been some things, in my life that could have been better, and blah, blah. So he's talking to me, and I'm stoned. So I'm getting into this conversation with this dude, right? And then I don't know what happened, but I gave him a hug. And I went back to my seat, and then afterwards, a bunch of other people went up and with real bad sob stories. Looking back as an adult, I feel terrible because people.
You made a mockery where
I
other
made a
people
mockery,
probably
and-
actually legitimately
and,
could have taken something away from it or needed to get something off their chest that was more serious.
And I remember this one kid going up and
Did
saying,
you ever suck dick for coke or whatever? Right.
I remember this. This one kid going up and saying how his dad was a real bad alcoholic, and and I remember him saying I know some of y'all want to make jokes about this, but this is, and I'm like, oh fuck, I felt like this small.
You feel like
I'm
the asshole.
Oh fuck, but my buddy still laughing. He's like, dude, it was great, and I'm like, yeah, dude, it was great, right? So after the assembly, I go to we all go to class and whatever. A period later, I get like summoned.
Yeah.
They call you down to the human.
Please report.
Yeah, the child development or human whatever it was. And I'm like, okay, and I'm like,
Yeah, for us, it was the guidance office.
got that like warm feeling inside. That warm like your whole body's just
You just know it's not.
on
There's,
fire. Like, oh,
it's
fuck,
not
what
going to
is
be
this
good
all about?
news.
So I go down there, and there's like a team. Child study team. That's
Child
what it was.
study team,
Child
okay.
study team office. I didn't even know that there was one.
Right.
And they're all there, all the people there that were, like in charge of that kind of thing in the school that, I didn't know about. And they're all sitting around and like, it's okay.
These are people whose job it is that you didn't even know they existed, but their job is as soon as a shred of evidence comes up that there might be a problem
Yeah.
in any kid's home life whatsoever, to pounce on it and just dive in head first, to see what, if there's anything serious that needs to be addressed. And you admitted to smoking weed to the whole school
Right.
an hour before your appearance with Big Al.
Yeah.
And I guess is that what they...
Yeah, like it was all a big setup. Like Big Al was like, "All right, we want the teachers to. This is a safe space," and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! I'm never gonna see any consequences from this." And there were consequences.
Oh, man.
And I'm gonna tell you what the consequences were. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, and I'm still, in that like burnout kind of like, like I'm not stoned anymore, but like I'm still like, I'm like, all right, well, I just want to get this over with. I'll just tell them what they want to hear, which was a poor idea.
Bad news, yeah.
It was a poor, because before I knew it, my mom was there. Like they called my mom. My mom came in, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but this is not good. And like they're like, oh, well, your son, he has some drug problems and that he's admitted to, and he wants help, and we want to get him the help that he deserves.
Problem.
And all of a sudden, I don't know how it happened, but somehow or another, like the next week, I'm in rehab in friggin' Pennsylvania, freezing my ass off.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me, dude. I don't know what happened.
This is not the first time that I've been motivated to reference this movie. But once again, half-baked, the one-liner I just pulled out, that's exactly the deal, right? He goes to meetings for weed.
Yeah.
So you admitted one time that you smoked pot in high school.
Well, then during this child study thing, whatever, they gave me like a questionnaire of did you ever try this? Did you ever try this?
No, and you were honest?
Oh yeah, of course I've sniffed glue a couple times. I mean, I mean, who hasn't sniffed a little glue?
See, here's the thing: the first time you take one of those questionnaires, your conscience tells you to just be honest, and your whole life, that's been what you're taught. That, like, I'm just going to tell the truth. I'm so used to getting kicked in the teeth when I try to lie, and it comes back and haunts me. So this time, I'm going to tell the truth.
Yes.
And if there's ever a time not to, that's
the time. Yeah, that's the time.
It took me 3 or 4 of those questionnaires to start to realize it throughout my life, because they give you those questionnaires in school when you see the child study team.
Yes.
Then they give it to you in the rehab when you go there, and that decides how long you stay there.
Yeah.
So you got to start shaving off truths.
Yes.
As you go, if you want any chance of getting out.
So 21 days during my junior year of high school.
I say that in jest, by the way. If you have a serious issue with substance abuse, I think it's most important to address it. That's one thing I should point out.
Absolutely, and actually, I do want to say, like, we both tell stories of years past that we've done, and
youthful error,
and they're funny stories, but yes.
Drugs
are bad, and they're and I've lost a lot of friends, and the reason why I lost a lot of them have a lot to do with that. So.
Sure.
In telling these stories, please understand that, we mean them for comic, the comedy.
Sure, it's therapeutic to kind of laugh about it now, but if you're in the middle of it, definitely, you should take it more seriously than we're making light of it.
Yeah.
And there's also a line that I think everybody finds in their life where it is for themselves as to what's the difference between, having fun and then running into trouble.
Yes.
And it took like crossing it and going real far on the other side of it for me and for a lot of other people to realize where it was. And now for me, I know that it's like, recreational drinking and some cannabis are a comfort spot for me. And beyond that is when it really starts to get sketchy. For some people, it could be a shot of liquor. For some people, the line's somewhere else. But so tell me now. So a week later, you go from the child study team. You take the questionnaire. You tell the truth, and that lands you. So that for whatever your answers were.
21 days at
Whoa.
White Deer Run.
21 days.
Up in the Poconos in Pennsylvania.
And you're a sophomore in high school?
A junior.
You're a junior in high school.
Junior
So
in
what are
high
you,
school.
16, 17?
Yeah, I was 17. I was 17 when I went.
This must have been they must have been thinking that this was their by they I mean like the teachers, the counselors, and your mom, and they must have thought maybe this was their one shot to kind of steer you in a different direction before you became an adult, before it was too late, that maybe there was a chance to kind of like a wake up call situation.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like
it's not like you were doing anything like radically like crazy criminal.
No. You'll need that.
Works better when it's plugged in.
Yes. Yeah. No. I mean, I was having fun, but like we talked about, like a lot of people that we both know,
Sure.
Have taken that fun and ran with it a little bit too far into directions that they couldn't turn back from.
Oh, I need fingers and toes for the people that I went to school and grew up with that are already dead.
Yeah.
From taking that too far and not knowing where or how to get back. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe that did curve, like so. At the time, it was unnecessary. However, I was there with people that had real problems, that I'd never seen real problems that close before.
So if nothing else, even if it wasn't for like treating yourself, you at least got to see a dark side to what could be the potential.
I knew that I didn't have a problem. However, I also knew that there was a line that I could never cross. Or else I would have a problem.
Right.
And I think that was a good, so it wasn't a total waste of time and money. Like, and actually it was really nice. We played volleyball every day, and I like.
So how
volleyball.
often you talk to Big Al and thank him?
Well, sometimes he comes over and he gives me a hug and $5.
So
and then he touches my pee-pee. That's not true. That's not true at all. It was the first and last time we'd ever made each other's acquaintances.
There's no way that we're not going to get through all of the Even Steven and Oddly Mark show without me researching and finding out a little more about Big Al and circling back to that topic.
We need
because
to do
that's one that hits home for me, and if that's what you're kind of implying, then we should talk about that on another episode.
Yeah. I'm not implying that, by the way. That wasn't the implication that I was making earlier. No. That's just fun banter about the fact that he's hugging kids. I think he legit just, was
it
trying
just
to
ran its
spread
course,
love.
maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But no, the things I heard weren't that. It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a diddling thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, good. We shouldn't slander the man's name if that's not the case.
No. I'm sure. But although I do want to look him up because watch, he might be a diddler. I don't know. He might be a diddler.
Oh my Lord. I don't. We'll stop before we have anything to worry about.
Yeah. That's probably good. Yeah.
So I think to circle back, that's one of those memories where your friend Joe kind of instigated, and and what would have been your ordinary day turned into a day that you'll remember. That it was fun, and it certainly went like way beyond what you.
Yeah,
it got a little bit out of control, but
listen, there's a million stories that I could tell about my buddy Joe. There really is. Like, I mean, literally from the.
See, I have these conversations with friends of mine once in a while, like. What's your value? What do you hold most valuable, philosophically in life? So, why do some of us tend to push the envelope and like try to find our, test the limits a little bit, most people do that in some respect when they're a teenager, but some of us decide to keep doing that, all the time, whether it just be like socially, just like saying shit that's inappropriate to get a rise
Yeah.
or whatever. But I always come back to it's a good story. It makes everything worthwhile. A good story that people are going to tell and laugh about, or anything to kind of like put a wrinkle in things and give people something to smile about or look back on and remember. I think that for me personally, that's always been the most valuable, and the thing that I kind of always steer towards,
Yeah.
whether on purpose or not at this point. I mean, that's just it. So like, you're kind of reminding me of those first few times, and there were many that I had to fill out a questionnaire. I mean, I think I had filled out probably a half a dozen of those questionnaires by the time I was a junior in high school myself, and I went way past the line, and I think around that same year, I forget how far apart we are age-wise, but in
I'm a year ahead of you.
Okay, so in 1996. In the school year from 1996 going into 1997, I remember on that calendar year in particular, so I would have been a junior. Yeah, I would have been a junior in high school. I remember I ate acid 150 times in the calendar year.
It's a lot.
It was every other day. It was literally every other day. And it went from exploring and loving like all these new experiences and tapping into some part of my psyche that I had never done before, to okay, I'm just trying to escape whatever the hell else is going on. And so it got darker and darker and darker.
Yeah.
And then it led to harder drugs, and that like really that was part of like the real slide down from, upstanding good kid, good grades, college potential and all that kind of stuff. Like I was an honor student until junior and senior years of high school. I wound up in jail for a while because of all that, because of the drug use. So I can't make total light of it. And I know that's not where we started this story, but it is Sober October, and it is worth mentioning.
It is.
I do enjoy self-medicating. I do a little bit of cannabis, and I do enjoy having a little party, doing some drinking. I only know that I can do that and where my limits are because I stretched way the fuck past them for a while. And so now at my age, like years and years later, we're talking about a lifetime ago, 20 years ago when I was that bad off. So I think, this month, this thing that really Joe Rogan and his buddies kind of really brought into the limelight, Bert Kreischer and all those guys 3 years ago, I think it was, or 4. I think it's a good thing. I think it's healthy for everybody to kind of take a step back, test your own self-control and your limits, and like just kind of clear your head.
Yeah.
And I encourage anybody, even if it's on a small scale, do that for yourself. Self-care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, your own mental health. Geez, it's crucial more now than ever. And we don't usually get too deep or too serious, but we are sober. We don't have beers in our hands, so I don't mind kind of diving into that a little bit or just touching on it.
Yeah.
But I hope you have, like you said, you have plenty of fun memories of Joe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they're not all, drug and drinking related, but
they don't all have to be showstoppers. But just like the fact is, like I hope that's what they're good stories, man.
Oh yeah,
good
stories.
Story.
Oh yeah, it's all about the good story, man. That's all on your deathbed. That's all you got. That's all you got. You know what I mean? You can buy a house, you can buy a boat, you can buy a friggin' yacht for all that matter. Well, I mean, you can, nor can I. We can't.
One could.
One could. I don't know one.
I don't know.
But if I do know one and you're out there, I'd like to invite. That'd be great.
I'm with you on that, though. Like, no one's ever going to say how like, man, he made it to his cubicle every day on time. Like, that's just not.
No,
That's
it's
not what people remember or what they feel, you know.
On your deathbed, that's what you got, man. You got your stories. You got the stories, and you got your
Yeah.
memories. That's it, you know. So make memories, you know, and stay away from the hard drugs.
Yeah, the hard drugs aren't where it's at.
No, cannabis.
Synthetics are not where it's at.
No,
Pharmaceuticals are not where it's at.
no. That's why you guys need to remember. Now, I'll never tell you who to vote for, ever, but definitely vote. And when you do, you flip over that ballot.
On the back side of
On
the
the
ballot.
back side of the ballot, there's the state
in the
questions.
state of New Jersey this year is full recreational legalization of cannabis.
Vote yes.
It's on the back of the ballot. You have to flip it over.
Yes.
And yes, we want to legalize the recreational use of
And
cannabis.
so do you.
And so do you. It'll benefit everyone, including your grandchildren.
Yes, seriously, like, and it's not because we're a bunch of old stoners that want to. I mean, seriously, like.
No, we're way past the Cheech and Chong
Yeah.
stereotype these days. Like doctors and lawyers
Yeah.
and firemen and police officers all agree this is something that is just like way. It's
Yeah.
long overdue. It's
Yeah.
long overdue, and its benefits so far outweigh the perceived downside that
Yes.
it's just enough already.
Yeah.
So
make
I'm
sure you
glad
do that.
brought that up.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to throw that. It's about as political as we'll get on this show here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I really do.
But so what's been new with you, man? I feel like I'm hijacking the whole show with my stories.
I don't mind a bit. I'm a good listener, and I
You
enjoy
are a
your
good
stories.
You are a good listener.
Things are cooking, man. I mean, I've got plans, which is there's only so much you can execute this year.
Yep.
But I now that we're past the summer, I'd like to keep expanding on what we're doing right here. I think I'm going to start doing another show in the same setup here, and just kind of like get that off the ground. Yeah, and I got my. I think that going into next year, things are looking up. So pretty much most of what I'm doing right now is prep for next year when things are
Back to
a little closer to normal.
Yeah.
As far as the audio jobs and performing. Ask me about a good story. I'll tell you one.
All
We'll
right.
play Remember When for now, and then we'll look forward next week.
All right. So, Steven, do you
Yeah.
have a good story for me?
Yeah, and I was asking for a topic.
Oh, wait. Do you want
Anyone. I don't
okay.
care which one.
All right. So
Anyone you can think of.
any topic.
Just close your eyes and point in the dictionary, and I'll think of something.
Okay. Tell me a good story that involves ice cream.
Ice cream.
Well, this is fun. We should do this more often. Word association stories.
Think of a good one.
I like it.
With ice cream.
New segment.
All right. Okay, give me a second.
Now, how this goes, we'll make or break this segment. So you better fucking make a goddamn good story,
I know, man.
or else this segment's just off.
The pressure's on.
The pressure coming from the guy who's like, ask me anything, any topic. Ice cream.
Ice cream is your topic.
But
Ice cream's the topic. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
ready?
good. And
All right,
5,
cool.
4, 3.
Steven's ice cream story. Are you?
I'm ready. I'm sorry.
I got it here. Here's my story about ice cream.
Yay, ice cream. Okay.
The small business owner is a dying breed in America.
What is this, the freaking debate?
No, listen.
Do you have a fly on your head?
You asked me to tell you a story about
Yes, I
ice
did.
cream, and I'm going to tell the story about
Okay.
ice cream.
All right.
The small business owner is a dying breed in the United States of America, and I know this because one of my fondest memories growing up was in our town within reasonable walking distance or bike riding distance. There was a little shop called Ice Cream Kids.
What town was this?
National Park, New Jersey.
Okay.
Ice Cream Kids was a little stand that was open, spring to fall, and it had one of the best butter pecan flavored ice cream that you could. I mean, like the best in the world. And it was a whole thing when you'd walk in there because, at least it's painted that way in my memory. almost like a Norman Rockwell-esque. Everything was outdated because the place was definitely built in the 40s or 50s. So right down to the the booths looked like they were out of the Pulp Fiction diner, and they had a player piano in the corner.
Sweet.
So it would do the if you turned it or whatever, if you turned it to that, and so it was a whole thing when you'd go in there. You could play around on the piano while you were waiting, and the butter pecan went perfectly on a pretzel cone, and it had that perfect combination of sweet and salt. So they had the big grains of salt on the pretzel cone. I'm killing Mark right now.
You know I'm on keto, right? Go on. Why did I pick ice cream? That was my fault. It's my bad, dude. No, go on. No.
That was what bubbled to the surface like naturally for you.
It's either gonna be ice cream or pizza, but we went ice cream.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But I didn't know there was gonna be a freaking pretzel cone going on.
This place was in business for the first 38 years of my life, and it was something that when I had kids, we would make it at least once a summer. We would go and just do it like it's an afternoon thing, especially if you have small kids. That piano was still there well into my adulthood, and it was only within the last couple years that you've got bigger businesses, just grocery stores in general, property taxes, whatever the case is, the place just couldn't make it, into the 2020s. But it's a fond memory I'll always have, and I think I'll always have that flavor combination, like a memory of that. Do you do that? Do you have like a...
It's like watching porn. Right?
Are you is it common that for folks to have like a memory where you can kind of recall a combination of flavors?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
you obviously can't like produce it or replicate it the way maybe you can a visual memory.
No.
Or something audible that you heard. But is that something that I'm not the only one that like there are certain things where you can just I don't know maybe someone a little more educated could tell me more about it, but I still and always will remember the combination of the salty pretzel cone and the butter pecan ice cream.
Oh, I'm sure.
For as long as I live.
And
then you equate it with that romantic kind of
the memory of your
the
childhood.
memory, yeah.
All right. That was a good ice cream story.
It was a good ice cream story. It didn't really have a punchline, but
you don't need a punchline. It's just a story. All right, now.
I like the randomness.
Yeah. Okay. Word association on me here. What do you got?
UFOs.
Let's see here. UFOs.
Did Sesame Street have a word of the day?
No, that was Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
No,
had
but
a
Sesame
word of the
Street
day?
had Hoopers, and when you were telling that story, I was thinking of Hooper's ice cream. The old guy Hooper. Remember Hoopers? You guys remember?
Who had the word of the day?
That was Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Was it?
Oh, you said the word of the day on and Cherry would.
All right, I'm sorry. UFOs. Mark Fisher.
UFOs. Let's see here. I got nothing. I got nothing on UFOs. Nothing at all. Oh God. I think this segment might have crashed and burned with the UFOs.
You killed it.
Yeah, no, I did. UFOs is very specific. I give you ice cream. Everybody has an ice cream thing. UFOs is kind of like. All right, let me think here. UFOs.
Let's take.
I got one. Boom.
Okay. There we go. It just took a minute. Just had to shake it up.
Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I was 5 years old. My very first movie that I ever saw, E.T.
That's fantastic.
That I ever saw in the movie theater. My very first cinema experience. And
Same here.
Same
here. My mom took me to see E.T.
Awesome.
Also,
Sweet.
it's my first movie.
How about that?
Well.
Can I ask you a question?
What's
Do
that?
you still love Reese's Pieces from that movie?
100%.
That's why I like
100%.
And watching that movie now, I realize that movie about UFOs. It's in there. It's
I'm
UFOs
liking it. No.
Okay.
I like it. I
All
like
right.
it.
that movie about UFOs.
1 degree. Like we just need to get within
just
1
degree. Yeah. Is actually just one big commercial for Reese's Pieces.
It really is.
Seriously, it's all one big commercial.
And there were 2 deodorants that the brothers argued over, right? It was because of the shirt in the garage, and he was like, "It was Old Spice." No, it was something else.
I vaguely remember. Yeah, it was.
The younger brothers, like, they have the flannel shirt of the dad
Yeah.
who is no longer living there.
Yes.
And it still smelled like Old Spice. Anyway, that's why I wear Old Spice today still.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
Reese's Pieces and Old Spice,
All right. I still wear Jacquard Noir. It's my fragrance.
Now,
I'm kidding.
now, which children's movie did you were you inspired?
But for Jacquard Noir, well, that was like what everybody wore in second grade.
Jacquard Noir was.
Very popular in the late '80s, early '90s.
I was gonna say you were probably turned on to that by the classic film "Feel the Vibrations" by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Oh well, that was a music video. That was a music video.
It was-
Yes.
I thought it was a brilliant
Yeah.
piece of film work.
I think it was Jennifer Six. I think. I'm pretty sure that was the movie.
Oh my God! Listen, everybody, make sure get your Old Spice, get your butter pecan, and your pretzel cone, and your Reese's Pieces. Don't get drunk every day. Enjoy sober October,
Yeah.
but make a fun story.
Yes, lots of stories, because the people that you're making stories with might not be around tomorrow,
That's a good point.
and you'll like my buddies who I've lost, and your buddies you've lost. They live forever because of
Yeah,
our
we can
stories.
tell those stories.
And your stories and your friends. So make as many memories and as many stories you can. Right?
Absolutely, man.
I think that's a good. That's a good moral of the story. That's a good. What have we learned here today?
Yep. Well, I'm gonna juxtasuppose this thing.
It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show. It's the Even Steven and Oddly Mark Show.